Hello! Welcome back to the YouTube channel. This is a bit of a different one. I'm using the Create mod once again, but in creative mode. I am making a tutorial for a 6-cylinder steam engine using the Create mod. I think I've already said that. This design is done by me. It's compact. Well, in the creative version it is. But in this tutorial, I will be showing you the survival-friendly version. Seeing as I know sometimes these could be used on survival worlds. This is what I will be using in our create mod survival world eventually. So if I run over here real quick, I have all the boxes and all the materials you will need. Pause the video here if you need. We will need a clutch. You will need blaze cakes. You will need 6 blaze burners. Two small cogwheels, one large cogwheel, a mechanical pump, lots of fluid pipes, and you're gonna need fluid tanks, a hand crank, if you're doing this with the survival world, stressometer and speedometer. These are optional. These are just so I can show you. You're gonna need shafts. You're gonna need 6 steam engines, a whole bunch of water, and a flywheel. And then you're also gonna need a lever. Optional is the elevator pulley off to the side. I'm going to be building this with the creative version in mind. But again, this is easily adaptable for survival. If you take your fluid tanks, your fluid hose, your mechanical pump, your gears, and you need your steam engines and your shafts. This is what you need to start with. Also optional is you need some temporary blocks, such as I'm just going to scroll down and grab some cut andesite. I like the look of this block. It looks somewhat industrial. Now what you're going to do is you're going to start with the shafts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, sorry. 7 long. Now above these you're going to go 1, and you're going to put the fluid tank above it. You're going to make 3 of these 2x2x2 fluid tanks. This gives you the most bang for your buck when you're working with them. Okay. Now you're going to place your steam. Oh, and you see, this is why you always make sure you gauge. Sorry, you have to be 2 blocks above. And then you put 3 of these 2x2x2 fluid tanks. Now you grab your steam engines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 is the optimum amount of cylinders for this. And then from this, you are going to put a large cogwheel. On a diagonal, a small cogwheel. Sorry, not a small cogwheel. And then you're going to put a. This may be annoying. You're going to put a mechanical pump right here. Whichever way you so much as feel. I put it this way because usually I have a create fluid tank behind this. And you put a small cogwheel to the side of this. And now is where you need to go get your other stuff. So obviously you can just put a fluid tank right here. This can have water being pumped into it, which is what you need for this to work. Now if I go sometimes. Now if you grab yourself a water bucket, you're going to want to fill this up. The bigger the better. And I know a lot of people say that, but this is the one time that it's actually true. You don't want as much water as you can because this thing is a water hog. Okay, so once you have a fluid tank full of water, then you're going to want to grab your blaze burners and your blaze cakes. Now, for me, since I'm going to be doing this in creative so I can have a longer lasting example for you, I'm going to be using the creative blaze cakes, which do not burn out. Now you're going to look up and you're going to click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You want to click them as many times as you can so you can get them to be blue. When they're blue, that means they are raring hot. You're going to put a little bit of water into each one of these until the gauge pops up, and then it starts turning, which I was not intellectually gifted at this moment, so I forgot to put some hoses. So you're going to take your fluid pipes, and you're going to run them up and into each one of these tanks. This will ensure that your engine has as much water as it can take. Is good, because this thing, as I said before, it is a water hog. For your starter motor, because this thing is going to not want to start on its own. It does start on its own, but it's finicky. You're going to want to take your clutch, a lever, a hand crank, and a flywheel. So right here, where this small gear is, you're going to put a clutch. Put a lever on the clutch, and put a hand crank behind it, or any other form of starter you want. So what you do is you start spinning, and then eventually the steam engine, once you get enough water into place, it'll start picking up. You flip this clutch, and it'll disengage the starter motor. Look, this thing is a water hog. As I said before, it takes a lot. I haven't come up with a good solution to stopping it yet, other than to just let it run out of water, which it will do shortly. Now, off the end of this, you are going to dig out a small hole, unless you built this up off the ground intelligently like me. You're going to put a flywheel. You're going to start hand cranking this thing until it starts turning over. Now, I probably should have been intelligent and filled this back up with water. And that is about it for your tutorial. As I did, you can cover it up with blocks to make it look good. Again, this is a very primitive version of a steam engine. Very primitive. So if by any means you need something bigger, I would suggest going to someone else's tutorial, because again, my thing is it's just as a temporary thing. So, yes. Anyways, I hope that is a good enough tutorial for you today. And, oh, one last thing. To fuel these blaze burners automatically, you can use, not over here. These things, mechanical arms. You can use those to feed them. Or, I'm pretty sure you can also pretty much just use a hopper and just start feeding the blaze cakes in. Again, not tested. So that is it for my 6-cylinder steam engine tutorial with the Create mod. Without the Create mod, none of this would be possible. Again, hashtag not sponsored. Yeah. Enjoy, and if you have any upgrades you know how to do with this, other than make it bigger, please tell me, because I would love to make a compact and efficient steam engine. But that is it for today's video. So, yeah, bye-bye.